Welcome to the live stream, everybody. It's just a couple minutes before noon. I'm coming to you from here in San Francisco. Foggy morning, a lot of clouds. Still hot inland, by the way, in the Bay Area, but the fog on the coast, it's all cleared up. Well, for the most part. I think if you actually look west, like we're about to do here, there's the clouds, there's the marine layer. Still hovering over San Francisco. These views provided by HD On Tap. Visit them at hdontap.com. So look out towards Alcatraz. Yeah, you can see the bay. It's got those clouds, but pretty much inland, everything is still a bit warm. Why don't we take you for a quick hop up to Lake Tahoe? Oh, there we go. Okay. That's looking nice. I'd like to be in Tahoe. I'd like to be in Truckee. Can we go to Truckee? That's just the beautiful trees and the mountains there, and then the blue sky. That's snow off in the distance. Where, right? Oh, camera just moved. Anyway, I think that was still snow. Surprised to see that here in late June. I can't believe it's late June, by the way. This month has flown by. May went by pretty quick. April was a blur. And especially on the personal level. I mean, I went from hockey season to baseball. That always goes quick. And then May just was like a breeze. And then here we are on the verge of July. Wonder if we're going to see a train here in Truckee. Those are the tracks. They're very busy. They're active. Apparently just not right now. How about we go somewhere a little bit more tropical to begin our live stream? How about the Hawaiian Islands and Kauai? This is the Sonesta Resort, I believe. It's like an airplane way off there in the distance with those clouds moving, but that cove is so beautiful. Nobody's hit the pool yet. 8:58 in the morning in Kauai. What a beautiful day, though. I mean, aren't they all beautiful days out there? This is the time of the morning where you want to get out and reserve your pool chair or where you're going to be spending most of your afternoon. Your early hours of the day. How about let's switch islands and go to Maui. This is from the Grand Wailea. Oh, looks like the paddleboarders or kayakers or whoever those are in their little red boats there. They're heading out for the day. What else can we check in on? Big Sur. Let's go down the coast here. Oh, look at those clouds. Those things are just sticking to the coast. And it does look like we have a boat out there, so I got to figure out how to point there. Right there. You see that little wake that something is leaving? That's got to be a small craft there. But blue sky is just above that low marine layer that's just hovering out there by the coast. Let's go somewhere warmer. Let's go way inland. Let's go to a different state. Let's go to Las Vegas. Looks hot. I see a lot of shorts and a lot of short sleeves. By the way, T-Mobile Arena is off in the distance. This is the corner of the strip right there with the Park MGM. And so if you go straight down the street, you're looking at basically straight ahead and off to the left there is T-Mobile Arena. You can almost see the sign. But an interesting vantage point here. Wouldn't mind being in Las Vegas either. Can you sense a theme here? I am watching the A's, by the way. Top four, no score. Both teams have recorded their first hits. Caprillion didn't allow his until the last Royals at bats. A's trying to win a series after scoring 9 runs yesterday, which is more than they typically have been in any series. They got that in one game, and they win game 2 of the series. Now today, can they take 2 of 3? They've not done that against any opponent in about a month. In fact, almost exactly a month. I think it was the 23rd through the 25th of May was the last time the A's won a series. So, look, I am going to get to the live chat here. I definitely want to make that part of what's going on. I was on the live cameras there for a bit. I'm going to turn that off. Let's see what's popping here. Let's just go right into the live chat. Give me 1 second to set all that up. And Sharks fan 8080, hello. Happy Sunday to you. Zach, north of the border. Hope all is well up there. Breezy. What up, Breezy? Hello, Dalton. Hello, Taylor. Hello, Riley. Oh, it's 103 out in Sacramento. Yeah, this is one of those days where at the coast, I mean, I think my car told me 64 this morning. Now, this was at probably about 9 o'clock in the morning. So cooler, obviously, but it's one of those days where at the coast, it's about 30 degrees cooler than it is 30 miles inland. You literally lose a degree Fahrenheit per mile that you go towards the coast. It's an amazing thing of summer here in the Bay Area in Northern California. Zach is wondering, how come I never applied to be the next San Jose Sharks general manager? I didn't even get my name in the hat. And team president Jonathan Becker, during an interview, said, and he is officially ineligible. What? I didn't even get my name in there. Yari, how you doing, buddy? Good to see your name here. Stay away from Toronto. Is that in a baseball or a hockey sense? Mario Ferraro back in Toronto. You know what? I got to figure out a way to do a collaboration with Mario, the old youngest of plugs. How about this? Did Seth? No, he didn't just go deep. He hit one well off the bat, only made it to the warning track. Seth Brown, A's hottest hitter right now, had a runner on first. I think Jonah Bride walked, in front of him. See, now, here's the issue. When I'm doing the live streams here, I'm not able to pay. I mean, I'm watching the game, but I can't keep my scorecard completely up to date. This is how I do it, by the way. So here's the A's at bats, and I don't have it written down yet. So, for example, here, let's get to the A's at bats. Yeah, Jonah Bride walked. Just saw that. Seth Brown just flew out to right, and now Jed Lowry's at bat. So I kind of follow along. I look. This is a helpful way for me to follow the game, and then just go back and look at every. It looks like Bride just got to second. Was that a wild pitch, a pass ball? See, now I'm distracted. Now I got to go back and make sure I know what happened there. Here's a replay. Ball got away from the catcher. Yep, simple as that. But I can look at at-bats and see the pitches thrown, the sequence here, and that just kind of helps me remember and formulate. And then what I do is I just write anything and everything relevant down here on my scorecard. And I like doing it this way. These are custom scorecards that I had kind of constructed, I don't know, probably 6-7 years ago. And then I have the Royals on a separate page here. And I keep score a pretty standard way. There's no special tricks about it. I mean, I might do it a little bit different just to make it work for TV, but pretty standard in terms of how I like to keep score. Let's get back here. You have a question? Song loser. All right. Can I play MLB The Show? Not today, because I'm here at work. I don't have the gaming console at work. That lives at home in the home studio. Who's winning the cup? Well, we could know later on tonight officially. Well, we know it could be Colorado tonight. Tampa's trying to stage one of the more memorable comebacks of all time. And I just have to say, I mean, my heart wanted the Florida Panthers for Joe Thornton. My brain always thought that the Avs would probably finally break through the second round curse they had. They did that. They're here in the final. They're one win away from the cup. My brain thought that after a 120-point season that the Avs are, they're favorites. I'm not telling you anything that's surprising, but had the feeling they'd be able to see it all the way through. How about that? Stephen Vogt, base knock, just scored Jonah Bride. Voter has the A's up 1-0. Oh, okay. So let me show you here something. I told you I write down interesting things on my scorecard that are not typical. Look at the top here. Let me cover my eyes so it focuses. Not here. That's the A's record, which is 29-49 overall. But 20-10 this year when they score first. Meaning that 20 of the 24 A's wins have occurred when Oakland scores first. Oh, and look what they just showed up on the screen. I kid you not. I can't show this to you, but the TV's over there. This is my little screen, and then beyond that screen is a big 80-inch plasma. Anyway, they just showed the exact same stat, which I had written down here, and which I am going to mention on the post-game show. because the A's scored first yesterday and won as well too. So I'm always keeping track of, just nuggets like that, stuff that's going to help out in the post-game show. And then what I'll do here is let me show Jonah Bride scoring. What happened? So again, I got a little distracted during the Jed Lowry at bat. So I go back here and I see that Jed Lowry grounded out to first. And that's how Jonah Bride got to third. He got to second on the passed ball, which I've written that down there. And then Sheldon Noisy just made the last out, flew out to right. So there you go. I've got a top of the fourth inning written down there for the A's, and then I will make sure that I put their run on the scoreboard down there too. So I always want to keep the inning, well, that's a little bit overexposed there, the inning line score here on the bottom so I can kind of, detail how the game played out. But obviously this is the best way for me to recap games afterwards. Look at that Band-Aid on my finger. Is to, be able to see how a player did. Like Jed Lowry, first at bat, grounded out to second base. Second at bat, just grounded out to first. This is pretty much all I really rely on for the postgame show. It's this and then the actual rundown on the screen of what we're showing, what highlights, what interviews, what is coming next. It's pretty much all I use. So just pulling back the the curtain a little bit. All right, let's go back to the Q&A. And let me ask you this in the Q&A. If you're here and you're watching, first off, I appreciate you. Oh, I never really answered this question. So it's interesting. Like the Avs are what my brain thinks is probably going to happen. But if Tampa wins, that's 3 cups in a row. This is also the cup where you'd be like, all right, still not an entirely normal season. But anybody who's critical of the first 2, and they should not be, in my opinion, winning those 2 was just as hard as winning any other season because of all the added variables and elements going on, protocols going on. So I actually think those 2 Tampa Cups matter just as much as any of the rest that have ever been won. But this one would be, wow, 3 in a row, the hardest of hard ways. No doubt about it, there would be something to this. So I'm going to say probably the Avs finish it off just based on odds, but you never know. You never know. Who is the man, the myth, the legend? Is that you, Brutus? Because are you self-announcing yourself? Or are you reintroducing yourself? Your pro wrestling crush lives in Las Vegas. All right, Riley. I'm not sure I'd know who that is, but interested to hear that. Oh, so by the way, if you're here in the live chat, and I do appreciate that, let's do a little location check. Where is everybody watching from today? That always gets me excited. Today, maybe you're watching from tomorrow, although I think it might be quite early. We do have some regular viewers in places like Australia and Japan, but again, it's probably super early tomorrow morning if that's the case. Super early Monday morning. All right. Elliot talking about Christian Pache batting $160 in 64 games. Why not send him down? And I don't think that's an impossible thing, Elliot. I think a lot of us assumed at the beginning of this year, hey, he's playing every day. We're trucking through this. This is how it's going to be for him. And they'll ride the highs with him and they'll get through the lows with him. It's a learning experience, your first full big league season. I'm not against sending Christian Pache to AAA for a bit to either regain his confidence or if he's got some things to work out that they can identify and he needs at-bats to do it. I'm not against doing that at all. I think what you want to protect right now is a player's trajectory, right? You want to protect their confidence and their trajectory. And at the same time, some guys you got to let the barbecue go, right? The only one way you're going to cook, and that's to leave everything on. He's getting the repetitions. He's getting, kind of the breakthrough. I guess if you're struggling to a point where it's counterproductive, then maybe consider AAA. Look, I'm not saying, you're going to demoralize somebody or you're going to hurt their feelings. Like, this is a business. These guys know that. And honestly, I think it was the A's intention to have him just stay up all year long. And I'm fully on board with that. I think that sends a nice statement to a player that, hey, we trust you, we believe in you, and we know you might struggle. But the last thing you need to be worrying about is whether you're in or not, or whether you're going down to AAA or not. Now, you've seen him recently not start every day out there in center field. So I wonder if that's already kind of tailing back the workload. Again, that's another thing to consider. Forget how a player's doing. Let's just lighten the load on them for a bit. Give them a breather. And maybe that's what they're doing now to try and recharge him, reinvigorate him. And if that doesn't work, maybe a trip down to AAA. So why not send him down if that's your question? My answer is, yeah, if it makes sense, let's do it. I'd rather not, but I also am certainly not opposed to it if it helps him in the long run. And I hope, it's not what he wants, obviously, but I hope he would see it as something to catapult him more than anything else. A's should beat Kansas City. That would be nice. It would make my afternoon a lot easier. Go Sharks, 56 in Anchorage, Alaska. Go Avs, I guess. Well, I see you with the A's hat on, and I see your handle. Both of those I like. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I guess it's the Avs' turn. It's their time. It's somebody different. Aaron would like to bring up Sky Bolt. All right. Wow, Zach really going in on the Royals now. If Tampa does not win tonight, if Tampa does win tonight, they're winning the Cup. Yeah, I would have to agree. If you can bring the series all the way back tied, momentum definitely in your favor. David asking, how do I feel about the June 30th vote for Howard Terminal? Well, I appreciate the question. June 30th is when the BCDC, the Bay Conservation and Development Commission, they're going to have their vote. So it's this upcoming week. And a lot of people don't see this as the biggest of all deals because maybe because it's not the city of Oakland, it's not the county of Alameda. They're like, who is this BCDC? Well, I'll tell you who they are. They are a governing agency that if they don't approve port priority use removal from Howard Terminal, the project cannot happen. So let's be like really clear about this. The vote that's going to take place this week is imperative. And I think those of us who follow this process, we certainly understand the magnitude of what's at play here. I guess maybe it doesn't have the sexy factor that's garnering a ton of attention. But I hope in the coming days, a lot of people really hone in on this and certainly attend the public meeting. The way I believe it plays out, I would think, as normal, is they'll open the meeting at probably 9:30 in the morning. Will be definitely held virtually, so you can tune in. I'll be carrying it live here on the YouTube channel in case you just want to watch. I just want as many eyeballs on this as possible, but the public will have the opportunity to speak. I'm pretty sure about that. And then they'll ultimately take the vote. 27 members, they need 18 yeses in terms of removing port priority use from Howard Terminal. What does port priority use mean? That they're basically rezoning the land. This vote has nothing to do with voting on the project. Maybe that's also another reason why this decision is not as noteworthy as some others, like the Oakland City Council vote of last summer, is because it's not on the project and it's not by the city or the county. But like I said, a no vote on this is basically fatal to the project. So I know that didn't even answer your question, David, which is what I should get into now. How do I feel about it? Well, the staff of the BCDC, so when I say staff, they have their own people. It's 27 voting committee members, but they have their own people to do research, to ask questions, to make a presentation, ultimately to make a recommendation. And the recommendation that's been made is yes, to remove port priority use from Howard Terminal. They give a bunch of different reasons, including the environmental impact report, including the shipping forecast, including a lot of different considerations that they've taken in to recommend a yes vote. Now, a lot of people were immediately pessimistic about the BCDC probably about a little more than a month ago, because they have a Seaport Planning Advisory Committee who actually recommended a no vote. Now, smaller committee, they're only focused on seaport operations. These are voters, by the way, who represent the Port of Redwood City, I think the Port of Benicia, Port of San Francisco. So not exactly people who understand maybe the project more or in the shipping community. And again, this was an advisory thing for a reason. It was very I don't want to say sketchy, but it led a lot of people to thinking, is this really a thing? Like, is this really going to determine the outcome? Is this going to be an actual considered recommendation? So that came out negative. Good thing that the staff report, which was way more comprehensive, included all aspects of the plan, also included some new information about the shipping forecast and the capacity of not only not Howard Terminal, but the Port of Oakland and other Bay Area seaports. It helped the BCDC staff ultimately say, okay, no. Howard Terminal, the 50 acres there, it can be used for a ballpark, and it will not negatively impact shipping operations in the Bay Area. So how do I feel about it? The recommendation's been good. When I watched the June 2nd public hearing for the BCDC, the voting members, they had every opportunity to ask any question they wanted to the A's, to the city, to their own staff. And I did hear lines of questioning, but I didn't hear anything that seemed like a hold-up question. I didn't hear anything that seemed like there were deal breakers out there for anybody to vote no on this. So, might I be surprised on June 30th? I suppose. I don't want to declare anything impossible, but ultimately, I feel good about this. Everybody else I've heard talk about this with knowledge and depth, they all feel pretty good about this. So it leads me to believe that the 30th is going to go well. And again, despite how anybody is playing this up or not, very critical to the project. So, David, thank you for the opportunity to answer that question. I really do appreciate that. Zach, you chirping, buddy. Do I miss Matt Chapman? Of course I do. Of course I do. But if he's happy and successful elsewhere, then there you go. You could see the game or the broadcast, in the reflection. There's a Coors Light commercial going on over there. Now there's some people at a beach. So I cannot at all show you video of the broadcast. It'll get my stream here in trouble, get a copyright strike. I don't want that. Zach wondering, when the Blue Jays are in Oakland, am I going to run to the Blue Jays dugout and interview Chapman? Probably. Does that make you feel better? Probably. A's, Raiders, Dubs, Sharks. Casey, right? Hello, Casey. How you doing, buddy? The depressing record. Are there any positives I see in the A's right now? Yeah, you know what? I'm keeping a close eye on Jonah Bride. I like what Nick Allen has brought to the team. I'm now interested in how they get themselves, when I say out of this, past this, how does the team, instead of being stagnant or regressing, how do they start moving forward? And my belief is with the next core of players. Now, I'm not trying to shove anybody out the door, right? But it is interesting that you have Nick Allen playing a lot at second and short. And Tony Kemp can play left field, but Elvis Andrus has not been in the lineup on an everyday basis as much as he always used to be. So it's twofold for me. Elvis, great guy, team player, contributor, huge glue piece of the team now for a couple of years. But I think we're at the stage where we've got to give the players that are believed in and that are highly touted the opportunity. And let's see if we have the next core. Let's see the next players. Let's see what comes next. And it's very similar to 2017, how that went. Second half, he's actually finished with a 500 record, and they brought up Matt Chapman. They brought up Matt Olson. You could see, they might be good. And then what they do, 97 wins in 2018 the next year. So you could kind of see it coming. Now, maybe to a lesser extent here, right? The success from this year or not to what they could do in the next year if they keep building, but I want to see the starts. That's what I'm looking for, is the start of something. So to answer your question, it's less about team results. It's more about individual aspects. Now, let me also throw in this disclaimer too. It's been said before a multitude of times, but I feel like it needs repeating as many times as I can. The A's could lose 105 games this year, but if they secured Howard Terminal, that alone would equate to, I would be as elated as a World Series win, honestly. There's no question about that. 105 losses, but Howard Terminal on the way, I'm popping champagne. It's literally as simple as that. All right, let's go back to the chat here. Las Vegas is Spanish for the Vegas. Thank you, Jolie. I appreciate that. That's very astute of you. All right, where are people watching from? Stockton, Roseville, Tirana. Hello, Maddie. Howdy. How's Brownie? Who cares? Just kidding. I talked to him the other day. You know what? I don't want to give this away, but Brownie might be joining me here on a live stream in the very near future. We might catch up, reminisce, talk hockey, might have some news for you. So, we might. We might. I'm not guaranteeing anything. Brutus is in you are in South San Francisco, so I will give that to you. Juan's in Turlock. Jolie's in Buckeye, Arizona. Ooh, monsoon season. That's got to be interesting, right? I don't know that I've ever experienced firsthand a monsoon. Well, I probably have, but not a full season of monsoons. Song Losers in San Jose. Jack's in Chicago. Brutus is saying hi to Maddie. See, this is what I love. Gareth is in Stoke-on-Trent, England. Hello, Gareth. Okay, that was inappropriate by me. Gareth, you did not deserve that. You know what I get for that? That was my bad, Gareth. I shouldn't have done that. See, I'm so thrilled that you're watching from thousands of miles away where it's already late on Sunday evening. And that's how I did it. That's what I did for you. That should go right in the toilet. Okay, here is an interesting one. I'll let the toilet flush. Let that finish. Jack wondering, do you think the new Sharks GM will install their own thoughts and potentially rebuild, or would the GM just mimic what ownership wants and try to retool and win? Let me say this, Jack, about what I think the Sharks are doing right now, because it's a long, detailed, exhaustive job that they're doing in trying to figure out who the next GM is going to be. The Sharks search is comprehensive at the very least right now. From just the list of names I've been hearing and reading about, and quite honestly, I'm interested in who they're interviewing and maybe what direction they're going to go, but I don't have a clue, and I'm not sure they will either until they talk to everybody and can maybe frame up their path and where they want to navigate just a little bit better, if that makes sense. I'm not saying they don't have an idea. Yeah, they have some ideas, but isn't that the point of this process, is to gain as much information and then go an ultimate direction you think is most beneficial? So I'm actually not on an everyday basis trying to figure out, well, who's the latest interview and what does this mean? Is it a person with experience or without experience, or somebody in the organization, or somebody who has no clue about the organization? But here's one thing I've started to realize. We're getting kind of later in the process. In fact, the draft is right around the corner, and it doesn't seem like the Sharks are going to have a GM installed by then. And full disclosure, they made that very clear. Jonathan Becker said weeks, and in fact, maybe even a month ago at this point, that the new general manager, the search was going to be exhaustive, it was going to take time, and it was not going to probably have somebody announced by the draft. So that's not a surprise. I'm not suggesting there's been a delay here, but I am showing you and telling you that because the process is taking a while, and that's a good thing, that in my mind, since we're getting later in the game here, I'm starting to feel like it might be a general manager who is installed into an existing core of a surrounding cast. Their assistant GM, their scouts, probably the head coach, Bob Bugner, right? There's always question when there's a GM change, well, what happens to the coach and their staff? And so the only thing that's leading me to believe all this, by the way, is just time, right? It's time ticking and the summer progressing, and you see other teams making moves, and I imagine as soon as the Cup final is over, there might be a heavy push of other things that are announced and whatever, but hirings that are happening. I'm just saying, if the Sharks are going to go even a couple more weeks until they have something finalized, it leads me to believe, more likely than not, that new GM is going to be a plug-and-play situation more than it is a brand new installation of a top-to-bottom hierarchy. So that's really all I want to say about it, because I don't want to speculate. I don't want to guess and lead you the wrong direction. Yeah, I've heard all the names. I will mention one that stands out as both interesting and fun, When I heard Scott Nickel was interviewed, I'm like, all right, that's sentimental to me. A guy that Brownie and I both love. We would have a very good time if Scott Nickel were the GM. And I know that position is not in his background yet. Probably will be, though, someday at the NHL level, if that's what he really wants to do. But anyway, long story short, I don't know. I don't really want to throw out a ton of guesses. I'm not following this on an everyday basis, but I am super interested when we ultimately have something. And I look forward to catching up with this person, learning more about them, and seeing what they're going to do with a lot of critical decisions. Veteran players, prospect players, mid-career players, salary cap, 3 goalies right now, coaching staff. There are a lot of questions for this new person. So who is it? When is it? I don't know either of those, but very interested. And like I said, the only hint that I'm kind of feeling right now, nobody said it to me, this is all just instinct, is that, there's 2 ways about this. New GM, entire new staff, or new GM with existing staff. I'm believing now that it's the latter, only because of the timing of all this. Okay, let's go back to the chat here. Zach says his girlfriend Stacy says hello. Oh, you turned her into a Sharks fan. No surprise, Zach, right? That seems like it's a requirement of a relationship in your life. And it's mine too. I get that. Jolie says, I wish Joe Will nothing but success. You had lunch with him and Dean Lombardi as a young kid. 2 really great dudes. I fully agree with you. Oh, pardon my interruption there. Seth Brown has gone yard for the Oakland A's. Seth Brown, who doubled in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, has now homered here in the top of the 6th. Ooh, by the way, top of the 6th means that I got to wrap up this live stream here pretty soon, because in the middle of the 7th, I got to do a little TV downstairs. I can't stay on here forever. Broden, hello. Riley checking in from LaGrange, California. I've seen that, but I don't think I ever knew how to pronounce it. Matthews in Saratoga. I don't cover the Warriors, but tell us what my reaction was when they won it all. I think you could see it coming as that series evolved. Boston was just not. Boston was doing all the hustle things in the early games, pulling a bunch of rebounds, blocking shots, hitting a bunch of threes. I just felt like as the series went on, it was more clear, to me at least, that the Warriors were going to win it. It got less confusing as the series went on. Okay, we're going bottom 6 here, so I only really have technically 6 more outs, but I'm going to cut off the stream here after a couple more outs. Watching from West Sacramento. Timothy's in Las Vegas. It is hot. I hate it. 1.3 million people in Hawaii. NFL, perhaps? I think you need a market bigger than that. Don't get me wrong. Would it be a tourist destination? Would it be a travel plan for somebody? But that's a lot of games, right? And that's, honestly, now you're taking a team. Well, if you had a regular team there, you're taking teams from out east 3 hours ahead of the West Coast and bringing them now 6 hours behind. So that's kind of like a trip to almost London for West Coast teams going east. Anyway, you understand my issue maybe with that. Like the idea, and I also don't know if 1.3 million is enough. And also 1.3 million probably over all the islands, right? So Maui, Kauai included, the Big Island, not just Oahu, where most people are. I just don't know if it makes sense. I like the idea, though. I like the creativity. If Real Madrid can do their project to their historic, Santiago I don't know how to say this. Bernabeu Stadium, Santiago Bernabeu. If our terminal fails, there's no excuse why you can't upgrade the Coliseum like Real Madrid is doing. Eddie, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you on that one. Redoing the Coliseum is like taking your 1993 Ford Taurus, a gas guzzler, and trying to turn it into a Tesla. Seriously. It's more work than it's even close to worth. The stadium was made more multi-purpose back in the day. It's not like Angel Stadium or Kauffman Stadium where they made it more of a baseball-friendly environment. They made it more multi-purpose in the mid-'90s for the Raiders, and because of that, And because honestly, it's been neglected in improvements, not in recent years, but honestly, it was neglected most of the 90s, all of the 2000s, a lot of the 2010s until the very end. So it's way behind. It's sunken down underground. You'd have to do so much work. And also this. The playing field is 20 feet below sea level. That parking lot is basically at sea level at the Coliseum. Tony Kemp almost made a great catch out there again. Is that a fair ball? I thought that was foul. Lopez has a triple. Oh my goodness. Sea level rise is going to be an issue for the Coliseum site. It's going to be an issue for the Oakland Coliseum in the next, if it were to exist for 50 or 100 more years. It'd be a tremendous problem. So that's why you want to get away from there. Now I know what you're saying. Don't they want to redevelop the Coliseum site for something else? Yes, but as part of tearing it all down, they would do mitigations to take care of sea level rise. David's in Concord. Oh, Owen is in Peterborough, Ontario. Love that. Oh, we should do a Q&A show together. Not a bad idea, Zach. I will definitely keep that in mind. Oh, the Netherlands. I love that. I absolutely love that. That makes me feel like that right there. Right field, Will. What's up, buddy? I believe in Stephen Vogt, too. I also believe in Seth Brown. Oh, man, Tony Kemp was so close to making that catch there. I believe in him, too. Oh, wow. I love this, too. Greetings from hot midsummer Finland. I love the Sharks coverage. Well, K. Hivespala, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's a name or just letters, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching from across the Atlantic Ocean. That is so cool to me that you're watching here on a Sunday, nighttime for you, just past 12:30 here in San Francisco, California. Who has the final say on who the Sharks GM can be after these interviews are done? Who makes those decisions? So, Hasso Plattner, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I understand, and Jonathan Becker, you're down to, the real leaders of the team. Sorry, I'm watching baseball. Leaders of the team to decide who is leading the hockey operations, and the GM is pretty much in charge of the hockey operations. Brownie. What do I think for a Sharks fan's worst nightmare is Vegas winning the Cup or Anaheim. We've already seen Anaheim do it, so probably Las Vegas, to be honest, just because how new they are and how many times they've made the playoffs. Them not making it this year, they're like devastated by this. I mean, they've been so fortunate in their start to the existence of a franchise. Coming down to earth would not be the worst thing for them, as far as a Sharks fan is concerned, but also for the reality of their franchise, right? It's part of being a good fan is knowing the bad times, to understand and to appreciate the good times. All right, here. I might be done. I might be signing off here. Oh, we're getting technical here. Camille or Camille? I'm going to try both ways and see if I get one of them right. I'm not in an ideal acoustic space. No, I am absolutely not. This is a terrible conference room for acoustics. Can you hear the echo? Don't I get phase problems with the MKH416, which is this microphone? Isn't the MKH50 a better bet? Ooh, we're talking mics here. I recently tried out the MKH50. It might be a better mic. And no, I don't seem to have phase issues here or comb filtering issues here. But the MKH50 was a little bit too low-end focused, like my voice was a little bit too boomy on it. And also because the capsule is literally at the tip of the microphone in that mic, it did not offer me protection from plosives. See, if I plosive into this Peter Piper picked a pack of peckled pepper. If I say it into this mic, I won't pop plosives, not just because of the wind foam, but also because the capsule in this mic is about halfway down the 416. So to answer your question, yes, and to go really technical here, yes, the 50 theoretically is better in a boom situation, but the way I'm using this mic, I'm deciding to stick with this one. Also, I mean, I should tell you too, this mic gets processed through a PreSonus Revelator. So there is some EQ, there's some compression after the fact. So that's what tries to make it sound a little bit better here. I could also, let me just experiment with something. I got another at least out to play with here. Let me open up the audio interface and show you a few things. All right. I got that there. I think that's good. Give me a second here to do this, and I could, there you go, pull that up, stretch that out. Okay, so this is kind of like my little signal chain here. What was I going to? Oh, show you. I can turn gating on this mic. Now listen to this. See how there's no background now? You got to listen really close. Like if you got headphones on, you can hear there's no background noise. A lot of you are saying, I don't even know what you're talking about. But gating allows me to kind of eliminate that background noise. Watch this. Sounds kind of weird though when the gating's on. That's why I don't turn it on here, but there are ways to kind of work with this room's acoustics and room noise. The reason I use this room in here and the reason I love it, it's empty, it's got a huge TV, it's got great Ethernet ports that are close for me, it's got the perfect table set up, it's got a spot for the second camera. The lighting is, honestly, it's just terrible fluorescent lighting. It's just the fact that I've finessed my two cameras here to work well in this lighting situation to kind of make it look like it's perfectly lit for TV, even though it's not lit at all for television. So, do I have this here? Okay. It's time for me to sign off. And that's what I'll do now. So that is it's the end of the old live stream today. Let's play out with something here. Let's play out with some live shots of San Francisco. Can we do that? Let's get it up on the screen here, and let's have a... there we go. Live look outside. I'll be heading back towards that East Bay a little bit later on. Boats out in the water, nice little breeze. What a day out here in San Francisco. That camera's a little bit blurry. It's usually not. I'm wondering what happened there. I think this other one is a bit out of focus too. Maybe they got blown around in the wind so much. Oh, and there we go. Now we're super sharp. Looking at Sutro Tower. That marine layer slowly dissipating. Okay. I think this is going to do it for me. I'll show you two more cameras here. London, England. Is it 9 o'clock at night there and it's still that bright outside? It's crazy. The River Thames right there. Let's go like to the other side of the world. Show you that view of Kauai. Oh, that's nice. That is really nice. This one's also going to be nice. So here's where my mind is right now. Here's what I'll be doing later on today. Fighting traffic. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to end it on this shot right here. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. I will talk to you very soon.